Our friends at Carzilla were kind enough to send me the Gyeon Pure EVO ceramic coating to test out. And I'm gonna find out through my 2.0 test suite whether or not this lives up to some of the manufacturer claims and how it compares to other coatings. When reading the marketing material, this appears to be a high-end coating. Gyeon promises a candy gloss appearance. They say it'll have incredible beading action and that it is using the highest percentage possible of silica in a ceramic coating. That should mean that it is very, very strong and durable. We'll put that to the test and find out just how well it does. To get started, we're gonna find out if this product is easy to apply. And Gyeon uses a very pretty box. Unfortunately, mine got cracked during shipping a little, but no big deal, everything should still be fine. We've got some documentation, an applicator, and of course, the bottle itself. You also get a little reminder sticker, which is a good touch. A very pretty presentation for the Gyeon Pure EVO. We'll give our bottle a good shake to get started. We're applying a pretty liberal amount. The instructions for the Pure EVO are pretty simple. It's really like any other coating. You're gonna wanna start in one area just to figure out how much product you're able to spread. When you do add more, you will likely not need to apply as much to the applicator because it's not gonna need to be immediately primed again. It does say to leave the coating on thick and to level it well and apply it using your preferred motion. For me, I typically do cross hatches unless I feel like they're not getting good coverage, then I might try more of a buffing motion. That works better for certain products. The instructions tell us that the product can take up to 10 minutes to fully flash, at which point it can be removed. I think we'll shoot for probably around 8 minutes. It's not cold in here, it's room temperature, it is a climate controlled environment. And as you get used to applying coatings, you learn when they feel like they're ready to be removed. You'll even kind of see it, you'll definitely feel it as you're removing them. We are right at 8 minutes and I'm gonna start the cleanup. Oh, that's coming off like butter, it's perfect. Actually, butter wouldn't come off very well, that's a bad comparison. It's coming off very easily. That's not tacky at all. I think 8 minutes for where we are in here is just perfect. Such an easy removal. Very, very easy. When we rate the application, it's between a positive 10 and a negative 10, and a positive 10 means the product is the easiest product to use in the category. And in this case, I think it does deserve a full 10, being very easy to clean up. The product does require 14 days before you can wash it with any strong detergents, which was initially a consideration I was making when grading the application. However, because you can get the car wet and drive it in all conditions after 12 hours, I don't think it really hampers the installation that much. We will be given a full 14-day cure time just to make sure the product has the best chance. Slickness imparted by ceramic coatings is a great way to reduce marring and swirls. Many products are slick, but to objectively score how slick they are, we're gonna measure the static coefficient of friction. We'll use this machine to take 5 gram force readings. We'll do the first reading. 0.39, so that's 390 grams. Do another reading, 0.37, 360 grams, 410 grams, and then let's do the final reading, 370 again. And it took 302 grams on average to move this block. We know the block weighs 1,040 grams, so we divide that by 1040, and we get 0.29 as our static coefficient of friction. These panels are polished before every test, and without any product applied, they average out to 0.38 as the static coefficient of friction. To get our slickness score, we'll subtract 0.29 from 0.38 and then multiply the difference by our score factor of 30. So the product is scored a 2.7, and that is not a super high score. It's actually on the lower end. The product isn't very slick, and we'll talk about more in the end of the video. Is the Gyeon Pure EVO a pretty product? Visual appeal is subjective, and just like application, it's rated between negative to a positive 10. A positive 10 means the product is the prettiest. It's just in that category of products that are absolutely beautiful, while a negative 10 means it really detracts from the optical quality. As you can see, I've placed a blue marker on the red panel, and the product is on the left side of the marker. In our new testing, we're also averaging the score between this test hood and a black panel that I'll show you in a second. Here's another angle where now the product's on the right side of the marker. On the red, I think this product is prominent. You can definitely tell it's there. It does look good, but I wouldn't call it spectacular. It just doesn't pop on the red as much as some other products do. So I'd have to give it a 5. On the black, it's a bit of a different story. The product really shines here. I think it's very clear where the line is, and it does give a lot of rich depthness to the product. I think it definitely gets a 10 on the black, and we're gonna give that a 7.5 average between the two panels. I need just 1 second of your time to tell you that there are affiliate links down below in the description to the products and tools we're using in this video. If you're interested at all and you want to support the channel, please click through. Any purchases you make on those websites will yield a small commission that helps run the channel. Furthermore, there are prior test results available on my website. The link is also in the description, where you can see how today's product stacks up against the rest. Let's use my gloss meter to determine if the panel has lost or gained gloss with the application of the product. And to make sure a gloss meter is calibrated, we want to start at 104 in this calibration slide with the 20-degree setting. Taking 10 readings will average them out, and points will be awarded or taken away for any gain or loss in gloss, up to 1/10 of a gloss unit. Got 92.2 over here. What the gloss unit measures is how much light is reflected. It's not quite the same as what your brain interprets as pretty or deep or even what you might call glossy. A mirror in this test would do very, very well. We don't usually call mirrors glossy. Looking like 94.4 up here. With nothing applied to this panel, the gloss meter reads about 94 gloss units on average after being machine polished. 94 flat over here. It changed right when I picked it up. 93.7. 95.7, actually 95.8 I saw, so we'll give it 95.8. 95.9 over here, amazing. 95.9 again. 94.3. Looking like 94 flat. I'm getting 94.8 here, guys. So we've got a total of 945. Obviously, if we divide that by 10, we're gonna get 94.5. And amazingly, this Gyeon Pure EVO actually raised the gloss score by 0.5 points. And the reason I say amazingly is because most products really struggle to bring up such a high starting gloss after the machine polishing. You know, we start with 94 gloss units. A lot of coatings may lose a couple of gloss units, which isn't a big deal. Your eye really starts to notice more significant losses. Some people can tell the difference apart from a couple of gloss units, but most people can't. Durability can be a huge factor when deciding if a product is right for you. I've devised an objective and repeatable test that will give us a great way to compare products. Now, before we start, I just want to see the base hydrophobicity of the Gyeon Pure EVO. I would say the product definitely shows some really good hydrophobic characteristics. I'd be very happy with that. We've got our test panel locked into the elecometer, and the machine will scrub a terry-covered applicator in a predictable wear pattern at 30 RPM while dispensing shampoo for lubrication. We're pre-soaking the applicators with our shampoo solution. I squirted a little bit of it onto the panel to prevent a dry start. The scoring, which I'll show you on your screen now, is done in buckets of 0, 10, 20, 50, 100, 300, and 1000. I've dialed in 10 washes into the machine, which will automatically prompt it to stop. While durability and longevity are different things, there's a clear and consistent correlation between high durability and high longevity products. Longevity can, of course, be affected by factors like temperature, chemical interactions, and other unique aspects of your environment. Let's take a look and see if our product is still performant. I think it's clearly working very well still. Let's put this back in the machine and we'll do 10 more for a total of 20. We're at 20 washes. Is the Gyeon still keeping up? Clearly it is. We're going up to 50 washes. I want to see if the Gyeon shows any signs of wear. I think we're seeing the very tiniest wear line right in the middle, going to 100 washes now. We're 100 washes in. Is there any more impact to the Gyeon? Let's take a look. And you can see we're just starting to form that middle line right there. 300 washes now. We're at a huge 300 washes. Is the Gyeon still working? I would say it's very close to failure. I don't think it's gonna make it to 1,000. Going to a massive 1,000 washes now. Let's find out if the Gyeon managed to survive. It did look like it was dying at the end there at 300. And I would say it's just as bad as the Control, so it definitely didn't make it to 1,000. We'll stick with a 300 rating on the Gyeon, which is still quite a lot of washes. With our testing complete, let's talk about what I liked about the product, what could be improved, and whether or not I'd recommend you buy this. I think Gyeon made a fairly strong product. There are some very strong suits to it. For example, I did like the way it looked. Is it the prettiest product I've ever seen? I didn't quite think so, but you wouldn't be upset if you put this on your car. In fact, you would think it looks fantastic. I also thought the product's ability to retain reflected light and gloss is very unique. We don't see that very often with products. Almost all of them will step down a highly polished panel, and Gyeon really knocked it out of the park. As far as being easy to use, I do think it is fairly simple to apply. You get plenty of working time, and you'll be able to wipe the product up quite easily. Furthermore, it's not a crazy kind of cure time. You are able to drive your car just as not to use harsh detergents. Now, I think durability is the category everybody waits for, and in this case, I think the product did very well. 300 washes is a very solid showing. This is a very durable product. They've clearly been able to achieve what they're saying in their marketing about durability. Now, is it the most durable product we've seen? No. They do make the claim to use the most silica possible, and that is an interesting claim. And I would say that that is not necessarily the end-all be-all to what keeps a product applied to your paint. Furthermore, some of the other companies are using some other technologies as well, and that can change some of that performance. Either way, 300 is plenty. You are unlikely to want to just use the same coating for a decade. Although some coatings do promise these kind of extreme durabilities now, it doesn't actually make that much sense in the real world, because even if the car is just gonna sit indoors all the time, it doesn't really matter what coating you put on it as long as you like the way it looks, because you're not washing your car much anyway. And then if you are driving your car all the time for a decade, well, you're gonna be taking it into the real world with scratches and swirls and the need to recondition the car after so many washes and so much exposure. Slickness to me was probably the worst thing about this product. I just expect slickness to rival at least most of the waxes and spray sealants when we talk about a coating. Sometimes very durable coatings are not super duper slick, but they at least come up to those same sort of levels as you see in most waxes and coatings. This really fell below the mark with such a tacky surface, and it was properly cured when we did the test, all that good stuff. It just seem to want to grip onto that felt pad at the bottom of that cube that I use, the little cooler packs that are stuck together. And even when I run my hand on it, it almost just feels like paint. And although I'm not showing this test anymore because everybody just skips through it, on the UV front, in my transmission testing and my kind of usual, what my friends now call the pizza oven test, we didn't see any performance in this product, so I can't give it any score for UV. As I mentioned recently on Jamie the Cleaner's podcast, I think these products are a lot more about keeping oxidative agents off your paint that will interact with UV than they really are about blocking UV. But the big question, do I recommend this? And I think overall, yes. If you really like the Gyeon product line, you're a fan, maybe you're already using a lot of their other toppers and other technologies, this could be a great option for you. The looks are good, the durability is good, slickness not so good, but overall the product is a high-end product. It just may not be the highest end product you can get in a similar price range. If you're new to my channel, I do this kind of nerdy, in-depth product testing videos very frequently. I'm also into car mods and all kinds of other auto enthusiast content. We do some builds, we do some repairs, everything's in here. And if you're into cars, I guarantee there's something here for you. So make sure to click that subscribe button, ring the bell, and catch me again in a future video.